How's it going? 75 years ago, fascism, Nazism, Imperial Japan, it was all coming to a head. Some of the most evil dictators, regimes, were starting to take over Europe, and it appeared they were going to maybe take over the whole world. The United States and the Allies rose up to the occasion. Went in there, stormed the beaches of Normandy and what was known as D-Day. A very courageous operation where our brave men stormed the shores of a foreign land, a terrain that was already occupied by the invaders, snipers from the cliffs, machine gun fire from the cliffs, numerous landmines. A lot of people died. A lot of people were injured, wounded. Quite possibly, one of the bravest generations our country's ever seen. And I want to remember those people today. The ones that are living, I want to thank you for your service. And the ones that have passed away, I want us to remember them and remember what they did to fight evil in this world and to help keep the United States free. And, possibly the greatest country in the world. Now, shortly after World War II, things started changing in this country. Congress, very shortly after, passed the APA, which is a law that's affecting us in gun rights today. And that's basically a law that said that, Congress makes law, but they can't really be bothered with making all laws. That all these executive agencies, alphabet soup agencies, bureaucrats, the deep state, people that aren't really accountable to the voters, they can make rules, they can make regulations, and essentially these rules and regulations have the force of law. This gave a lot of power to the executive branch. Power that, in my opinion, wasn't really intended to be had by the executive branch in our founding documents, our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and even in our Bill of Rights. Fast forward, we've had Supreme Court precedents with the Chevron case and the Chevron deference, where these executive rulings and executive interpretations of laws can often have more power and can actually supersede the law itself. We saw that happen with the bump stocks. Look, our Second Amendment and much of our Bill of Rights has been under attack for a long, long time. And slowly but surely, all the pieces of the puzzle have been put in place where the laws of the land, the documents that we hold sacred, the people we elect to make laws, start meaning less and less. And it doesn't seem that it matters what political party that you're a part of nowadays. It seems like all of the parties are against gun rights and against the American people. Now, keep in mind, 75 years ago, D-Day, it wasn't just the federal government that freed the world from the Nazis, Imperial Japan, fascist Italy. No, it was the American people. Because what's a government without people? The government is just an entity that basically collects resources, takes resources from some people, gives it to others. And without all those actual people that were over there fighting, using their brains, using their bodies, using weapons that were built by the American people back home, automotive factories near here in Michigan were changed over to make guns. Typewriter companies were changed over to make guns, even jukebox companies. It was mainly the people that actually went and fought and risked their lives. But it was also all of the regular old civilians at home 75 years ago that switched their job over from making farm implements, typewriters, jukeboxes, automobiles, to make guns that would then be carried by other people, citizens of the United States. And we may not have a world war right now, but we're under threats right now of bad leadership. Seems to me our government's getting more and more totalitarian as time goes on. We already know that the Democrats are after our guns. Every single one of them are campaigning on it. And our Republican president, who promised us that if he was elected, that our 8-year assault on the Second Amendment would be over. He's been after our guns since almost day one. And he's after them again. He's after silencers, which are already regulated. Very, very restricted, highly scrutinized, registered, all of the above. He already took the bump stocks with executive action through the executive agencies. There was no law passed by Congress. The Constitution says Congress passes laws. Well, it's not really the case anymore. And don't get me wrong, the United States isn't near as bad as what we were fighting in World War II, but we fought the Revolutionary War to get away from a tyrannical government 240 years ago. 75 years ago, we saw tyranny trying to take over the world again. We fought that. The people did. We, the people of the United States, did. And what are we, the people, going to do now? We have an election coming up in a year and a half where we're going to get to choose between an anti-gun incumbent president and a certainly anti-gun Democrat. That's going to be our choices. Is there another option, guys? Who do we need to call? How do we need to organize? Major gun rights organizations such as the NRA, they've let us down. They've been for a lot of the gun control bills that have been sponsored. They've been for the executive actions that our president has taken. Can we trust them? I'm not going to. What can we, the people, do to stand up and fight for our country here at home and fight for our rights? The Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the whole Constitution, the freedom of the United States of America. I think it's time that we get together and we start doing something about this. If you guys have, social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, we need to start talking about this more, guys. I'm not trying to get a Democrat in office. Look, I don't want Beto to be president. I don't want Biden to be president. I don't want Kamala Harris to be president. But you know what? I don't want President Trump either. Because he's anti-gun, period, end of story. And he's proving it yet again. And he's going after silencers. And he's banned the Molot Vepr AKs. And he's for red flag laws. Like, take the guns first, and then due process second. That's what he said. He said he was going to get rid of bump stocks, and he did. And very, very swiftly. Now he's after silencers. So, let me know, guys, in the comments what I can do to help. And I encourage all of you. A lot of my viewers have channels. Get out there and start talking about this. What can we do? Is there anyone in Michigan? Do you guys want to get together? Do you guys want to have a rally, a meeting? We got to get the president's attention. We have to get Congress' attention because the government answers to we the people. And the more and more that the government keeps going on and answering to us less and less, the more our rights are going to keep degrading. And I just see them degrading every day. And the Second Amendment is being looked at as a second-class right. And I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want any of my rights to be second class. And let's see what we can do, guys. Peacefully. Peacefully, but assertively. So, let's remember what happened on D-Day. And let's not forget that it wasn't only about gun rights, but it was about freedom. And that our government doesn't just arbitrarily have a dictator or one person at the top that makes all the laws. We're supposed to have checks and balances, and all of those checks and balances are supposed to end at the ultimate authority, which is we the people. So I think it's time that we do something about this, and I'm willing to do what I can to try to fight for our rights. And I know many of you are too, so come on, guys. We got to do something about this. We got to somehow reach Trump, if that's what it's going to take, our congressmen. Maybe there's somebody else that can run for president that'll, have the Second Amendments back and the whole Bill of Rights back as a whole. But, all right, guys. I think you guys know what I'm saying here. It's just time to do something. I'm getting sick and tired of this crap where you have to choose between the lessers of two evils and you keep flipping the coin and it looks the same on both sides. The Second Amendment is not a second-class right. It's one of the most important rights we have, and all of our rights are equally as important. And a lot of people have fought and died to keep our rights. And I'm forever thankful for them, and I don't want us to let them down. We the people have a responsibility to keep our rights and to hold our government accountable. And they're not doing a good job, and they're doing a piss poor job. And I'm here to let them know that, and I encourage all of you to let them know that too. They need to shape up, start doing their job, and keep this country a great country. And remember why our country's so great. Because of our rights, because of our Second Amendment, and all of the Bill of Rights. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.